Welcome back, guys. I'm Zell, and today it's time to get our first look at the Wii 706. Alright guys, I'm going to go through the packaging again, and I'm going to do this with most knives from now on, so, you know, if you're bored with it, I'm sorry, I'm going to try to make it quick as I can. But it's for your benefit, of course, and it's for the benefit of those knife companies that aren't doing it right, so that they know whenever I don't like their packaging, or if they are doing it right, so that those companies know I do like what they're doing, and those companies that aren't doing it right can see how to do it right. Anyhow, we've wasted almost a minute there, and what we have for packaging is a box that fits the internal packaging real well. It's just a plain cardboard box, has Wii Knife Company on it. We've got our internet contact information and the information about the knife. Contact information on the other side. Open her up, and we have our little pouch. Very nice little pouch. Says Wii on one side, has WiiKnife.com on the other. And neat thing about these, you can put two knives in these pouches from Wii, which is awfully nice. And you have your pause and read card if you want to. And a microfiber cloth. You have a bag of silica gel. Also have a bag of silica gel in the box. And the tool to take the knife apart if need be. And of course down here we have the knife. Let's see if we can get that guy out of there without getting all the plastic out. There we go. And what we have is the Wii 706. And of the current G10 Wiis, this is one of my favorites. Is it the best EDC knife? Well, probably not. That's probably the 703. But it is a beautiful knife. Let's get a closer look at it. We have G10 handle scales, nicely contoured, and blue titanium pocket clip, tip up right hand only, unfortunately, and a blue titanium backspacer with two large lanyard holes in it. And what I didn't mention whenever we did the 701 was we have this triangular shaped hole here that works, obviously not as good as a Spidey hole, but it still does work as a blade hole, and it is great. I like it. And our G10 is, on this one, is a little slicker, but you still have some traction on it. Just a little bit, and that's nice. We roll around the back, we can see more of that big back titanium backspacer. And we have our flipper. And the flipper tab has some jimping on it, but it's not that super aggressive jimping. So, you know, that's very nice. We have some jimping up the thumb ramp. And, of course, the blade is sitting down there, splitting the wickets just like it's supposed to, right down the center. And measurements on this guy, we've got a closed length of 5 inches, a handle thickness of 0.58. And I'm going to say it again on these G10 knives from Wii. The numbers don't lie. It's 0.58 thick, but it sure doesn't seem like it. It seems like it's thinner than it is, but of course, like I said, numbers don't lie. And we have a closed height of 1.52 because of our little dimple up here on the blade, which is well worth the extra few tenths. And let's get some size comparison done. We've got our Buck 110 as always, and our Rat Model 1. And this knife is just a smidge longer than both of them, but it carries more blade than either one of these knives. And our regular Delica is still on vacation, but the HAP 41 is standing in. And of course it's bigger than the HAP 40 Delica and about twice the weight, but it's got a lot more blade in it. And speaking of that blade, there she is. And this is the F model. So no coloration on the blade. We've got kind of a bead blast here and satin. And a nice swedge at the top. It's a tanto style made out of D2. We've got a nice tanto, and what they've done with the tanto is they've left it a little thicker to give you a little more tip strength than some knives. And all flat ground and a nice high flat grind. Comes down reasonably thin behind the edge. Most beautiful thing, of course, is our sharpening choil, and this is almost a finger choil right here, is out in front of the plunge grind by quite a bit, and I love that. You guys know that. And the condition of our stock edge, get some more of that crappy paper. I'm going to run out of this stuff at some point, guys, but while we've got it, we're going to use it because this stuff is awful. But there you go. Same old crappy paper we've used on a lot of knives, and that's your stock wee edge. Now, whenever we get up to our tanto end, wee has ground that thicker. Still very sharp, but they've ground that thicker to give you more tip strength, like I said. And the blade, to me, the blade on this thing is just absolutely gorgeous. I really like it. I'm glad that I ended up with the all satin blade. You know, I say satin, it's kind of a bead blast here and then satin flats. But I really, really like that thing. Anyhow, we're going to move on along to our pause and read card, and I'll throw some pictures up of the other colors, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, mechanically we are the same as all the other G10 Wii knives. We have a ceramic ball bearing set in there, and they are setting in front of some hardened steel washers that are thick enough to keep their shape. You know, like I said in the other videos, very reminiscent of what you get in the Buck Marksman. So, very, very good pivot. And it's just a standard pivot. It does have the stylized Wii logo on this side, a little oversized. And we've got the Wii star screw on this side. And we got this little collar underneath the screw. But it's still a sleeve and torque screw, well, not torque screw, a sleeve and star screw pivot, I suppose, this time around. And it is just a wonderful thing. It works extremely well. And we should probably put this in the Levi's. So, Levi's up on the table. And it's going to surprise me again. If you guys watched the last two Wii videos, yep, it did it again. I don't know why. I should be able to look at this and tell. But every time I put one of these Wii knives in the pocket where I can see it, it surprises me how deep they ride in the pocket. There's no lanyard hole on this one to stick out because the lanyard holes are down here. But still, the titanium pocket clip lets this thing ride pretty low in the pocket. Get a piece of our junk paper here and we'll look at the sides of it. And it's deep enough to carry in your work pants. Like I said in one of the other videos, I quite often have some 511 cargo pants that have a rather thick area where your knife would go in. And they ride fine in there. It doesn't make the titanium bend in a weird way or anything. So that is beautiful. I like it a lot. And Ergonomics. That's another place. The 706 really surprised me. I didn't expect to love this knife. I'm not a huge fan of tanto blades, and I'm generally not a huge fan of the thicker blade, but they've ground it thin enough that it's going to be a pretty good slicer, as you saw, and the blade is just beautiful. It makes me want to learn how to use the tanto. And our handle shape is another thing. We have these milled out choils right here, and whenever you lay your hand in it, in your standard grip, your index finger goes in there, the rest of your fingers wrap around it. There's no hard point right here, so it's a very simple handle as far as shape goes, but it's very effective. Got the jimping up your thumb ramp. It's not super aggressive, but it's enough to get a good grip, and there you go. It's in your hand. You can get it around here, and it doesn't cause any weird hot spots because everything here is nice and soft. You get it back here, and the handle, even though it's a 5-inch long handle, the way they've shaped it, it's not too long to get your thumb capped for your reverse grip. And that weird grip I always show. that I end up using a lot, works great too. So overall, Ergonomics, in my opinion, are pretty much stellar, guys. And action, of course, you know, it's a Wii. You can use that triangle hold to thumb flick it. You can use the triangle hold to middle finger flick it, or whatever works. Not just like a Spyderco, of course, because it's not a round hole, but you can achieve all those things with this knife very easily. Same thing with the 701 we looked at a few days ago, if you don't get your fingers in the way. Works good. I like it. Anyhow, guys, that's been our first look at the Wii 706. It's a tanto knife that may make a tanto believer out of me. I'm rather enjoying it. I definitely like the look of this knife, and I like the feel of this knife. I think it's going to be a very, very good one. Anyhow, guys, I really appreciate you stopping by and talking knives with me for a few minutes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.